Let's get the screen up here. Okay, yes, meeting is now streaming live on YouTube. Welcome. This is Before You Go, a little something before you go at the end of the day. This episode is about embarrassment, and that's something that I do very well is embarrass myself. And that's what I want to talk about today because I'm sure a lot of us, I've been hearing a lot. Oh, before we go any further, I'm Susan Patang from the Quiet Zone Coaching. I take people who come from dysfunctional families and I train them in the life skills they need that their parents never taught them to move forward, to wake up happy, to avoid stress, to deal with other people's drama, and how to deal with what happens when you're embarrassed and you screw up. Okay. And that is exactly what has just happened to me. The way that Before You Go came about was that I picked up this really cool little calendar that has all of these different topics on it, for one for every day of the month, actually for a whole year. Excuse me. And yes, I've been coughing a lot. I have chronic bronchitis. It's COPD. I'm fine. No, I don't have COVID, so don't worry. So I have been trying to get interviewed on podcasts because there are a whole bunch of people out there that say, yeah, it's a great marketing technique is to use other people's audiences to get your method across. And yeah, okay. So I went on this guy's podcast. He just recorded it. I mean, we're talking like a half an hour ago. And the whole time I started coughing, choking, okay, like in the middle of a podcast recording. And I said some things that I thought were pretty stupid. I'm not good live, as you can tell by watching these Before You Go episodes, but I feel like, you know what? It's cool for people to see what I'm like when I'm unscripted, when I'm not like conducting a class or something like that. This is what I'm really like. I'm a little crazy. I'm a little weird. And this is what you get when you get coaching with me. A lot of new clients that I have been coming into contact recently with have been experiencing social anxiety. And some of them are teens. And I think that a lot of what was going on with us with COVID and being locked down and not being able to go about our normal lives has affected us in some way. We're a little afraid. We're a little going out. And I noticed that I'm like, I have no fear whatsoever. I will go out and open my mouth and say whatever it is that I'm thinking. And sometimes it's not always the best plan. And that's kind of what happened to me tonight. I was being interviewed by this guy for his podcast, and I feel like I said some really stupid shit. Hopefully I got across the message that I was trying to give. But I get a little, with the camera. Okay. It gets me a little scared. So what do you do with that? And I'm sure if you have issues with social anxiety, and being like, oh God, I just embarrassed myself. What do I do? What do you do with that? Because you don't want to carry that around with you. We all make mistakes. Just because I'm a life coach, I'm not perfect. Okay. I teach my clients skills. Okay. But that doesn't mean that I'm a guru or anything like that. I just have this really cool skill set that works. So what do you do when you mess up? And like I just did, and I messed up. And what do I do with those feelings so that I don't end up carrying them around with me? And also so they don't start eroding my self-esteem. Like, oh, you've got to watch your self-talk. And that's part of it. What do you tell yourself about those embarrassing experiences? Do you say, use the cognitive distortion thing and say, oh, well, just because I messed this one thing up, that means that I'm terrible? Okay. So I'm not going to say, no, I'm a terrible person to interview on a podcast live because look at this, you messed it up. Oh my God. Oh, well, I've been on other podcasts where I did fine. Okay. So why do I feel like just because I messed one up, that means that I'm unworthy of being on another one? You see where I'm going with this? It has to do, oh yeah, there's the dog. It has to do with what you're telling yourself in your head. Okay. Another thing is, excuse you. Hello, that is Priscilla. Another thing is, like I said, one mistake does not mean that your whole life is a blow up. And also you can look at what positives you were able to take from that. Okay, so now I know not to talk about how much a coach charges, because I don't know what this guy charges. He's a coach too. Okay, I was talking about how I'm an inexpensive coach, and all the other coaches out on the planet hate my guts because I don't charge a lot of money. For all I know, he charges a fortune. Okay, open mouth, insert foot. But now I learned something from that. There is a positive that I can take from that experience and say, okay, well, I know not to do that again. Right? You see where I'm going with this? You want to do what psychologists call reframe. All right. So you want to look at the same experience through a different lens, just like you would look at this highlighter and say, here's this highlighter. But guess what? That's the same highlighter too. Right. So you're just looking at it from a different perspective. So I'm going to look at these experiences from a different perspective. I learned something. I can take lessons forward from it. It doesn't mean that I should never be on another person's podcast again. It doesn't mean anything is wrong or with me. It just means that now I've learned something and I can actually be grateful for the experience that I had. Just like right now, I'm talking to you live and I have a dog milling around me. And I think that happened to me yesterday too, didn't it? But it was a different dog. Come here, Priscilla. We're going to show the people what you look like, because if you want to be loud and fat and all that, we're going to show people. You can wave and say, hi, I'm Priscilla. Okay, yes. She is hungry. They're coming up to their dinner time. So that's why they do this. But if you like what you've heard, I'm going to give you the commercial now. You can go to www.thequietzonecoaching.com. I have something for everyone. And if nothing else, grab yourself the Essential Life Skills diagnostic session. It's a real coaching session with me, and we'll talk about what's going on in your life, what is holding you back from waking up happy in the morning, and how I can help you get where you want to be. Another thing that I wanted to encourage you to do too is that right now I'm noticing that there are an awful lot of teens out there with some social anxiety. And if you're the parent of a teen and you think that teen might benefit from having some life skills, some learning some new life skills, please go down to www.thequietzonecoaching.com and grab that Essential Life Skills diagnostic session. And you could sit in with your child on that, and we'll talk about what I can do to help them get back where they need to be. Until next week, because today is Friday, have a wonderful, awesome, amazing weekend. I'm going to head over to Facebook now and do my Facebook Live. So join me over there. Maybe I'll say something stupid over there too. Talk to you later. Bye.